Salutations, good people. My name is K-Murdock, and I am your host for this month's Underground Chronicles right here on thewordisbond.com. Shout out to Jose, shout out to Bob, shout out to Patrick, all contributors right here on the blog, and I hope you guys are checking it out. So they asked me to do this. I wanted to do something different. I was kind of getting tired of just doing regular interviews where I had to answer questions and write all the time, and I love to write English and was my minor when I was in school, but I figured I'd do a video blog. So forgive the quality, it's not the greatest, but at the same time I feel like it'd be easier for me to kind of just dialogue and talk to you guys this way as opposed to trying to write all this down, because my mind is working real crazy. So I'm trying to keep it organized. So first and foremost, just a brief introduction. My name is K, and the K stands for Kyle Murdock. Been producing for 10 years now. Y'all probably know me through Panacea. I've also produced a lot of local acts, local to the area where I'm from, which is the nation's capital of the United States, aka Washington, D.C., in which I am born and bred. Got to work with a lot of great artists like Raheem Devon, who's now went on to be Grammy nominated. Too many artists to really name. If you want to find out, I have a discography on my website, neosonicprod.com, that you can find out everyone and everything I've done. So for the sake of time, I will keep it moving, and basically, just want to run down real quick how I got into this. And music is the focus for this week, and every week I'm going to be trying to shift it, because I wear a lot of hats, both literally and figuratively. So most of you guys know me as a music producer, so I figured this week I'd kind of focus and share some stories in regards to my music production career. But I got into doing music like a lot of people, just being a fan of hip-hop, growing up off of it. Big Tribe Called Quest fan. Hopefully you can make this out. This is the cover of Midnight Marauders from A Tribe Called Quest, which to me is the greatest hip-hop group ever made. No arguments with me on that. I'm sure a lot of people would debate me, but I will stand strong, as I have been the last 15 plus years since Tribe has been out. So yeah, man. God, let me see. Like I said, De La Soul, The Roots, all those, big fan of them. And growing up, I just wanted to take a stab at doing music. I kind of, particularly in high school, started paying attention more to the elements of the music and not so much the MCing. Like, that's critical to me as well, because that makes a song. But for whatever reason, I really just got into who was producing what, and I bought some equipment on a whim, and here I am now, some 12, 13 years later. I wanted to share with you guys real quick some brief stories that are like career highlights and lowlights as well, just so you guys kind of get a little bit more insight into how it is being a producer. We'll start with a lowlight. So back in 2002 or 3, when Jay-Z was recording the Black Album, I had a good friend of mine who I worked with when the job I worked at the time was as a audio engineer and producer at XM Satellite Radio, which is based out of here in the States and broadcasts up to Canada and down to Mexico. But I was working as an engineer. I had a friend by the name of Lisa Ivory. Shout out to Lisa. Not to be confused with Lisa from the group Lisa and Cult Jam. This is a different Lisa. But Lisa had a really good rapport, with Dame Dash and Kareem's Burke, aka Biggs, for Rockefeller Records. Now, I'm sure you guys know Dame Dash. He was one in a lot of Jay-Z's videos, always dancing around like a fool. Very outspoken dude, still doing music now. But Biggs, or Kareem, he is one of the guys who's like the business minds behind Rockefeller Records. Like, whenever you flip over Rockefeller Records album, back in its heyday, you'd always see the 3 executive producers were Jay-Z or Sean Carter, Dame Dash, and Kareem's Biggs Burke. So Lisa, she went up to New York to meet with the fellas. Like I said, she had a real cool rapport with them, and I gave her a beat CD to take to send to them, because Jay-Z was listening for beats at the time for the Black Album, and so it was an amazing humongous opportunity. She took my beats up there, and unfortunately, the news I got, thankfully, I didn't follow it, because if I had, I wouldn't be talking to you guys today. But essentially, after listening to the beats I sent them, and I sent them some stuff I thought would be perfect for Jay-Z. The feedback I got, particularly the line I remember from Biggs, was basically he relayed to Lisa to tell to me to, and I quote, not quit my day job. Well, I didn't quit my day job because, you know, I like my day job, but I, more importantly, didn't quit doing music. And subsequently, from a low light to a highlight, within less than 18 months, I found myself signed to Rawkus Records, which was, you know, a crazy thing. I've grown up listening to them and buying all the Rawkus stuff, and, you know, Mos Def's album, the Black Star record, Pharoah Monch. You know, everyone who's on Rawkus was like a star, you know, an underground star. So, you know, I got my first deal. It was like really my last deal, and it was definitely a learning lesson. But out of the connection through Rawkus, in 2007, the album that we did as Panacea, called The Scenic Route, wound up actually being voted Album of the Year in 2007 in what is the biggest hip-hop magazine in Europe, which is at the time's Hip Hop Connection. And it was a career highlight, man, and it always made me think back to, you know, what if I had listened to what Dame Dash and Biggs had said and not follow my dream, man. So, you know, everyone out there, you know, it gets tough. Everyone's not gonna like your stuff. I still have people to this day probably hate my beats, but that's cool. I got enough fans and people who do like them that I keep it going, and plus I love what I do. So, you know, if one person buys it or 1,000 people buy it, as long as I like what I do and I got the passion, I'm gonna keep doing it. So there you go, right there, little career highlight and a low light. And then one last thing you may not know is that your boy K-Murdock, at one time before I was a producer, I used to, like a lot of producers or people in general who do music, I used to rhyme. You know, I used to write a lot of poetry growing up, and I was an MC. Well, I'm not gonna say I was an MC, but I used to rhyme, and I used to rhyme in what was the first iteration of Panacea, which, contrary to what many think, was not myself and Raw Poetic. Back in college, I did a summer's worth of recording with me, 2 homies from high school and 2 homies from college. And we, as the collective 5, we decided, I came up with the name Panacea, and we were Panacea. Now, obviously, it didn't last. It actually didn't last past that summer, because once school started again and everyone went back, it kind of fell apart. But yeah, I was a producer, and I even rhymed on a few cuts. And the only way you'll ever be able to hear that stuff, for anyone who buys my latest record, Decadence, released a limited edition of the album on USB card, and it contains everything I've done from 2000 up until now in 2010. And the first Panacea album, that album's worth of recording we did for that summer, and it's amazing I still have this stuff. That album that we did, which we called The Tonic, under the name Panacea, me and the 4 other guys, that project will be on there. And on one of those songs, you will hear your boy K-Murdock drop in a cool 16, or it's probably like 20 bars, because I didn't know how to count back then. But anyway, so yeah, that's something you may not know. And yeah, that has been it for this edition of the Underground Chronicles. I'll be back next week breaking down and giving you guys more insight into what I do as far as radio. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep checking out thewordisbond.com. Shout out to the fellas once again, Jose, Bob, and Patrick. And yeah, y'all, till next week, I holla.